So I'm going to be recording our sessions as this is a requirement for the university. I usually forget. So if someone can remind me to hit record, that would be helpful, especially for those that might be traveling this summer. As you travel over the summer, you can look at our recording if you missed it and you weren't able to join us for spotty interference that didn't allow you to do so. Today, we're going to do mostly housekeeping, go over the assignments. I encourage you to work ahead and to use your syllabus to guide you and do your readings and move ahead. I also will have instructor videos posted. I usually have about 3 of them posted by now that in between, but I haven't gotten to them, but I'll get to them this week. And I'll post them, the ones for week 2, 4, 6, and the final week to guide us through the process. And then that'll help you if you're struggling with a particular assignment or you want to get an assignment done ahead of time. And hopefully, I usually go over the lectures, the material. I lecture on and have PowerPoints on that, and that's what's in the video. So that's pretty much what I focus on. Any questions so far? All right, so we will meet here. I am going to, give me 1 second, let me find to this. Okay. All right, so I am going to begin. All right, so tell me something good. And I would like you guys to introduce yourself and tell me one good thing that's happened to you today and what your current career is and why you want to be a school counselor.
I can go first. My name is Samantha Lacan. Something good that happened to me today is I went and did my fingerprinting because I received a job offer as a counselor for next year.
Nice.
What else did you need?
What's your current career?
I currently work at the school district that I live in Fairfield, Sassoon in Northern California, and I'm currently a community outreach liaison and an attendance clerk.
Nice. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Welcome, Samantha. How about I just call on people? That'll be faster. Christina.
Hi, my name's Christina. Something good. Well, I have started my field work, so that's been really fun. And I actually got to sit in on a really interesting kind of situation that happened today. So that was really beneficial to see.
Okay.
I currently work for a company that supports women-owned businesses with like workshops and mentorships. And I want to be a school counselor because I have a background working with kids, and I just kind of felt like this would be a good fit. And after everything I'm learning and experiencing, I still think so. So that's good.
That is good. Thank you for sharing, Christina. Heather.
Hi. So first of all, congrats on Educator of the Year. That is quite an honor. That is exciting. So one good thing that happened today, I am so excited to be on vacation. Dang. I'm a middle school teacher. So it's just lovely to breathe. And you guys have probably all seen the memes, like teachers spend the summer catching up on their lives that they lost over this school year. So just to be able to do some of those things around the house I'm thankful for that. And this for me is like my pivot in education. I love working with kids. I love being a teacher. I love my middle school kids. I am finding myself, especially after the pandemic, wanting to be able to work with them in a different way. And wanting to be able to give a little bit more focused support than I can as a teacher when I'm pulled in a lot of different directions.
Great. Thank you, Heather. Anne.
Hello. So let me see. One good thing that happened today is that I fixed my AC. I got my AC fixed. It was broken before. So that's my good
Yes.
thing today. And I'm currently an accountant. I've been an accountant for more than 15 years, and I decided, to do a career switch to do something that where I feel more passionate about. And I have a lot of educators in my life, and just, this is something that I really feel like like I would want to do. So yeah, that's my reason.
Well, thank you, and welcome to the world of education, Anne.
Thank you.
Victoria.
Just one FYI, I want to let you know that hopefully my internet is not too spotty because I'm using a hotspot. My name is Victoria Sanchez. Well, right now, a good thing I'm on my vacation trip right now. I'm still Zooming for class because I didn't want to miss class, and that's why I'm using a hotspot because there's no internet. So I'm using my phone as connecting to the internet. But good thing I went swimming today. It was nice, got sunburned, so enjoying the trip with my family, a camping trip. And I'm currently a substitute, but prior to that, I was a teacher for 6 years, and I worked with all grade levels, K to 12. I was a foreign language teacher, teaching Spanish at the high school level mainly. And then my students would always ask me the counseling questions, and I'm like, I'm not your counselor, Glass, your counselor. And I feel so useless not being able to help them and support my students since I really care about them. So that's what pushed me to finally take the step to further my education journey and be more supportive of them, because I loved helping out my students whenever they had those questions, the college and career, social emotional, and I wanted to help them further. And I always had so many students and I couldn't reach them as a teacher at that level. So that's why I decided to become a counselor. And here I am just subbing for now so I can have that flexibility with the program.
Great. Thank you, Victoria. Is that Shani?
Hello, my name is Shameen.
Shamin.
You're close. So one good thing happened today is that I got boba.
Yes.
So I finally caved in, got one today. My current career is substitute teaching, but right now, since I'm on break, I'm also tennis coaching for the high school team.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and I guess I learned that I want to be a school counselor when I was in my program for social work. They got me to do substance abuse counseling, and I didn't like the whole social work part of it, but I really liked the counseling part. So I think that's how I learned.
Good. Great. Thank you. Joe.
My name's Joe Glosson. One good thing, I guess, I woke up today since I've been off. Current career, I'm a substitute teacher, LAUSD, and I'm just trying something new within the education.
Okay, great. That's awesome, Joe. Angela.
Hi, good evening. No, my name is Angela Soto, but I go by Angie. One good thing that happened to me today, I went swimming with my daughter. For me, it's a big deal because I'm allergic, so I break out in rashes, and
Me too.
so far I haven't got any. I'm like, is this the year that is finally gonna not show up? Because I've been having this since I was a kid, so it just feels really nice not to be itchy and red and with a rash.
Good.
My current career, I am a substitute teacher. I've been doing it for a year now.
Okay.
And why I wanted to be a school counselor, if I dig deep, I think when I was doing my undergrad, I had one of my guidance counselors. He was just like a huge motivation for me, and he was just like the best. And I was like, how can I? And I love working with kids, so I'm like, how can I like pursue something where I can make an impact, like he made an impact on me. And just being there and helping, you know, like helping make that difference for the kids.
Good. Thank you so much, Angela. Ruby?
Hi, so my name is Ruby Garcia. One thing that happened, or a good thing that happened today, is that um, my supervisor and my assistant principal, who I'm going to start working with during field work, um, told me that they're going to be super flexible, especially because like I'm a teacher and I teach during the school year. So I was really appreciative of that, and they told me that they're willing to, move my schedule around and make my counseling hours fit. So I was really happy to hear that, and I'm just like um, super grateful that they're willing to do that for me and that they're being so supportive.
Good.
Currently, I am a Spanish teacher. I'm a high school Spanish teacher. I work for Orange USD. And I want to become a school counselor because I want to help students like myself. Especially, first generation Latino students. I feel like I can really reach them by being a counselor. I can really motivate and help them. And not that I can't do it as a teacher. I feel like as a teacher, I can also do it, but I feel like I can help more and support them more academically as a counselor.
Thank you, Ruby. That's awesome. Jane Lee, did I say that right?
Wendy?
Hi, Janelle or
Oh,
Wendy?
Janelle, I'm sorry.
Janelle. You're fine. So my name's Janelle, but I go by Jane, but whichever you prefer.
Okay.
One good thing that happened today, I got to spend time with my sister and my nephew, so that was pretty nice since I'm on vacation. My current career, so I am a para for alternative education, and that motivated me to become a school counselor because there's certain limitations that I have with my job where it's a lot of like referring like to the counselor,
Mhm.
and I wanted to be able to do more for my kids.
Good. Thank you. Gwendy?
Hi, something good that happened to me today. I'm on vacation now, so I'm able to spend time with my kids. So we went to do our hair and we just got back. It was 3 of us. And my current career, well, right now I'm an academic advisor.
Mhm.
I follow 2 cohorts of students. So one of them just graduated and I'm working part-time, like during the summer, I'm gonna be working the first year advising to help them make sure they don't melt during the summer. And next year is gonna be my last year, class of 2025. And after that, I won't have a job. So I figure, hey, why not go to, and get my master's to be able to be a counselor. I've been doing the work for the past going on 5 years, and I really enjoy it. And it's very rewarding when you see the students getting accepted to college, graduating high school. So it's a lot of work, but I really, really enjoy it.
Good. Thank you. Cheryl? You're still muted, Cheryl.
Is that it?
Now we can hear you.
Okay, sorry. So I've been an occupational therapist for 27 years, but
Yes.
I took a break with my kids. I have 4 children. And then I was back working in early intervention and I've always wanted to be in education more. And as an OT, I had very limited. It was more check the box, which I didn't feel good about. So I really wanted to pursue something where I could be more in that counseling role with them and helping them. And I feel like my background with special needs will be helpful.
Yes.
And the good thing that happened today is I completed 2.5 miles with my 18-year-old. She made me run this morning.
Yes.
And we got a new counselor for her and an actually excellent advisor for her college. Her first one wasn't able to help her and she got a new one and was fantastic. So I'm super grateful.
Excellent. Thank you, Cheryl. Erica?
Hi, I'm Erica, and something good that happened today. It's been a busy day. I'm taking a course, well, more like a training, because next year I teach Spanish as of now. So next year I'm teaching AP Spanish. So I am doing the training, but it's been great. I guess that's the good thing that happened today, that the instructor, she is very, very inspiring, and she's sharing a lot of good stuff. And I think I connected with the way that she teaches. So I'm very, very excited to teach AP next year. Like I said, I teach Spanish currently, and I want to be a school counselor because aside from Spanish, I also teach a class that is called Peer Helpers, and I've been teaching this class for 2 years, and that really, really like helped me understand that I really like helping kids in that sense. I really love the social emotional connection and the social emotional, just the curriculum and helping those kids be able to learn those skills. And I just think that I'm good at it, and I enjoy it, and I love seeing my kids when they grow and when they see their progress and how amazing they can be.
Thank you, Erica. Melissa?
Oh. Hi, my name is Melissa Geary. One thing good that happened today is that it's officially my first week of field work, so that's really exciting. My current career, well, I was a preschool teacher, and now that I got into counseling, I'm just focusing on counseling. And why I want to be a school counselor. Prior to becoming a counselor, I did want to do teaching, but it took me a little bit with COVID to realize that it just wasn't for me, and I did want to stay in education, so I just decided to reach out into something else. So I was interested in school counseling, so I just went for it. So yeah.
Thank you. Isabel?
Hi, Professor. I'm currently a substitute teacher with LAUSD. I've been working in education for almost 10 years. So I've always known that I wanted to work with students. I just didn't know what level. And then I started subbing for a year, and it was great, but I realized that I wanted to do more than just be in the classroom. So that's when I came across school counseling and met a few different peers and just loved their experiences and what they shared about their career and their role. So that's why I wanted to pursue this career as a school counselor. One good thing that happened today, I actually started interning also, just like Melissa. And I got lucky with my site supervisor because she's really teaching me like all the ropes and the databases that they use. And today she actually kind of like let me be on my own and let me help students that wanted to drop classes for summer school or add them, since it was the last day. So that was awesome. It was a great experience.
Great. Omar?
Hello, my name is Omar Andrade. One good thing that happened today, I tried a new place for tacos, so I celebrated Taco Tuesday today. Got a little motorcycle ride in to a new place. My current career is I'm a campus supervisor at the local high school. And why do I want to be a school counselor? So I've kind of been the last few positions I've held have been very similar to like school counseling. So I kind of just came naturally to me, and I figured I'd go all the way and just go through with the program, and something that I enjoy doing, working with students. And I get summers off right now, so I want to continue getting summers off. So pretty much it just all fell into place.
Great. And Malia? Malia?
Yeah, Malaya. You see, one good thing that happened today, I'm a soccer coach, and so I had a new kid today that was cracking me up, so that was a highlight. And yeah, I'm a soccer coach and work in the office when I'm not coaching. It's super fun. But definitely just kind of a job to do while in grad school, not really, my passion for forever. But yeah, I kind of chose to go school counseling path. I was close with my high school counselor when I was going through a lot of tough times, and so that kind of like opened my eyes to it and the role. And then I thought I wanted to do teaching, but then kind of realized like I kind of wanted more one-on-one. So I was doing behavioral therapy, which I liked, but it was just the schedule was all over the place. So school counseling is kind of what I ended up in, because I knew I liked doing one-on-one with kids and in groups. So yeah, I'm excited to start fieldwork soon.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, everyone. Did I get everyone? I hope I didn't miss anybody. I went by my screen. Okay, so let's go over our assignments first, just so we can talk about those. And for anyone who has questions, let's see. We have moved the books. Okay. So starting with assignment number 1, which is due next week on week 2. All right. This is a simple assignment. There are 3 scenarios on the paper, and you're going to choose 2 of them and provide a well-written response in our APA format. So that's pretty simplistic and straightforward. It's 2 to 3 pages. You respond to the scenarios in the same paper, and it's APR format, reflecting on what would you do if you were in those situations. Okay. And there are 3 scenarios there. Make sure you just kind of take a look at the rubric. Make sure you included all of the questions and on the rubric, so that you're ensuring that you are getting your full points. Okay. You should have some citations, like 1 or 2, referencing someone else as where you're getting your opinion from, as what you would do if it's the textbook. Another resource is fine. Assignment number 2 is due week 3, so the following week. This is a group session and a reflection paper. So during week 3, hold on just a second. Check something. During week 3, what you're going to do is come to class with a group lesson. Okay. I have one that I'm going to share with you today if we don't run out of time. And I'll post it also as a link, so you have an idea of what do I want you to prepare. Okay. In this group lesson, you will have a PowerPoint of some sort, and in the YouTube, it shows you exactly, because it's a virtual example. So the person is saying, this is what I would say, then I would say this to the kids, and going through the topic, right? And then using their PowerPoint. This is where I would gather the kids together. I would have all the materials out, and that's how you're going to present. So I'm going to place you in groups of 2 or 3 during the 3-week session. So next week is really important. Not next week, our next live session is important, because that's where you do your presentation. Each person will take about 5 minutes. You'll observe the other 2 people in your group, and then that'll take up the majority of our time. Then on week 4, you're going to write this reflection paper. So you can see that if you're not in attendance on week 3, I need to know sooner than later. Because if for some reason you're unable to be there for week 3, I can have you share your lesson with the people who weren't able to be there, and you can view each other's by recording yourself. And then you're able to write your paper in a timely fashion. Any questions on that so far? Okay, so first, we're in our live session. You're observing, you're taking notes. Then due week 4 is your reflection paper. So it's asking you those 5 questions, and you're writing a reflection, a 2-page reflection of your experience. How it was to present, how did you prepare for your group lesson? What were your topics? What was your biggest strength as a leader of the session? What strengths did you observe in your classmates that you would like to replicate? And what areas would you like to improve, grow, and learn? And again, it's a 2-page paper. Okay. Any questions about that? So the sooner you email me, the better, because that, if I'll gather the emails and ask you to, so what you're going to do, if you already know that you're not going to be present for week 3, then you do your group presentation and videotape yourself using Zoom or some other video method. You will email that to me. I will compile that and share that with the people who are not present. And then those are the ones that you watch 2 people, and that's how you're able to write your reflection paper. Okay.
So that's explained in, because I'm just looking at the outline of the syllabus for week 3. So where you're saying we have to do a PowerPoint before we come to class, where is that at?
So your PowerPoint is what you are going to demonstrate for your class. That's your group. Like you have to have a visual of some sort.
Yeah, but I'm saying is there's instructions on the syllabus for that for week 3, like as an assignment?
Because I'm following.
So I see for week 3, it says topic, learning outcomes, readings, videos, chapter 5, 6, how to start a movement, discussion boards, and then live virtual session 2, and then what we're going to be talking about. So as you're saying, we need to present something, where are the instructions for what we need to present?
So it's your assignment 2. And as you can see on there, it says perform assignment 2.
Okay, perform assignment 2, experimental group involvement and leadership. Okay,
right.
perfect.
So like I'm reading this to you in the assignment section, it's assignment number 2. So you go to assignment number 2 and it says do week 3 group session. And I'm explaining what that means right now. And then it says week 4 reflection paper. So I'm explaining what those 2 things mean together. So during week 3, you're actually going to put together a group assignment, which is why question number 1 says, how did you prepare for your group session? So you're going to pick a topic that you want to present on. And then, Joe, I see your hand. And then once you pick a subject, you can say this would be lesson number 3 of a friendship group. And then your PowerPoint or your materials within that then you share that a 5-minute, session. Well, it's actually more than 5 minutes. It's actually going to give you like 15 minutes. And that's what's going to take up the majority of our time together. Because you're going to do yours for 15 minutes and then watch 2 other people's. Yes, Joe.
So basically for assignment 2, it got moved up a week and we got 2 assignments within assignment 2.
Well, okay, remember you just come to class on assignment number 2, and this is what you come prepared with. You come week 3, you come prepared with this assignment. Week 4 is the actual paper.
So to clarify, Professor, we're not turning anything in, we're just presenting it.
You're presenting it during week 3.
Yeah, okay.
And then when you submit your paper during week 4, I grade that. I do not grade you during week 3. Let me repeat that. I do not grade you during week 3. You can make as many mistakes as you need to. Your audience are your peers. I'll pop in, I'll look at it. If you have questions, that's exactly what the paper says. It says, what were your strengths? What did you observe from other people? So if you don't have the best PowerPoint, okay, ask questions, ask your friends. That's why you're going to be in a small breakout group. Okay, this is your first run at a group session. putting together your lesson for a group session. All right, Joe, you have another question? Go ahead. And then Victoria.
So for the week 3 that we present that as a group.
No, you're presenting individually, and I'm going to put you in a breakout group with 2 other people.
So
Does that make sense?
we all need our own side.
Correct. Correct. Mm-hmm. You'll need your own slides. Now, here's the caveat. You do not have, you can use something that's already done, but it's all in your presentation. No one's asking you to make up something because many of us don't have the experience to be able to make up something. If you're in your field work, you would get your help from your supervisors. Like, what's a quick group thing that I would do? Like, what would you see me doing? Something that you might use in the future with the students that you're working with, right? So you're going to pick your own age level. You're going to pick your own topic. You're going to pick, it could be, and you're going to present. Why are we doing this? To practice our presenting skills, to be able to develop a lesson, a group lesson on a topic in counseling. This is your first experience, right? So this is not something that I'm grading you on. You can make as many mistakes as you want. Maybe you say, I learned I'm not really good on the spot. I have 26 years of speaking to kids, to adults, to everything. If someone says, make this up, Ms. Bowe, I can make it up in a second because of the years of experience that I have. Someone else new to the field, my coworker, she's a school counselor also. This is her second year as a full-time counselor. So when I put her on the spot and say, hey, can you put this PowerPoint together? She needs way more time than I do. Okay. And that's not a problem. That's just where we are in our careers. That's it. Right. So you're going to see, what are my strengths? What do I need to practice? What do I need to learn more about? Okay. So don't expect yourself to be, yeah, you have to come up with the PowerPoint. Yeah, you have to come up with those things. Maybe you'll find one that's already done. Maybe you'll find something. I'm not grading you on that either. Okay. I never said it had to be original. Okay. So don't worry about that either. Okay. We all have counseling books. We all have other things that we can use. If that's where you get your material from, that's where you get your material from. Okay. Victoria.
Just have a quick question to clarify. Week 3, is it on July 8th? Is that right?
I was just pulling up my calendar for that.
I'm not counting wrong.
Yeah, I was just pulling up my calendar for that one. All right. Okay, so today is, okay, so that's going to be July 9th.
Okay, thank you.
July 9th is when we have our next live session. Okay. And Erica.
Yes, so for our previous class, the one that ended this week, we submitted a lesson on, well, my lesson was about groups, like a group for attendance. So can I use that lesson and present it to my group and do my presentation on that?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Absolutely. Okay. So again, use what you already have. If there's something else, a lesson that you've created, or if you saw one that was done by someone else that you're working with, ask to borrow their lesson. And you saw it being done, so it's easy for you to represent to someone else. Okay. I'm not looking at your this. Remember, the part that I am grading you on is the reflection paper. That's what I'm grading you on. Okay. So I'm not grading on your material, but you get an idea because this is group counseling. So we have to practice our skill of being able to do a group lesson. Okay. Any questions about assignment number 2? The reason why I just like to clarify, because it says one part's due week 3, one part's due week 4, and a lot of people get confused. Was I supposed to upload that presentation during week 3? Was I supposed to do this? No, the preparation that you make for our live session is for you and your presentation. Just like you see me with my PowerPoint for today's lesson, I'm all prepared for that, but then you're not uploading that to me. Then you're done with it after our live session. You took your notes, you watched other people's lesson, and then week 4, you write your paper, and that's what I grade. Okay? All right. Assignment number 3 is our group meeting observation. This is when you need to observe a group. So I'm going to tell you, start now. Okay? You need to find a group that you can observe. Many of us are on summer break. There is no group at our school. It does not have to be a group from the school. It can be anybody's group. Okay, it could be if you don't work out of school, it could be your staff meeting. If you don't, if you go to a church and you have a group meeting there, it can be that group. If you belong to a counseling thing, it can be that counseling group. Any type of group. Let me say that one more time. Any type of group. It is not limited to the school. Okay. Any organization. If you have a once a month meeting with the same group of people and they have dynamics, there's your group. Okay. So all it has to be is something that you guys meet, whether it's bi-weekly, once a week. Does it matter if it's virtual? No, it does not. Okay. So in order for you to do this assignment, all you need to do right now is think about, what group am I going to observe? Okay, what group am I going to be? I belong to a church women's group. That's the first thing I would think of right now. Being that I'm on vacation and I don't have any other groups. So I would think about that group. It's my hospitality group. We meet once a month, and how we serve the particular people at the church. Okay. And our group dynamics, we have a leader. I am not the leader. I'm just a member. So then I go through these questions. What's the name and purpose of the group, the frequency of the meeting, the purpose of the meeting, the number of participants, the sex, the approximate age, any relationships among the group participants. And it says relationships, but it doesn't say names. So you're not going to name the people, right? Then the physical setting include distracting elements, frequency of interaction between participants, and the direction and flow of information and interactions. You can use the diagram to draw that. The role of the leader, the structure of the meeting, the dynamics between the members, the analysis of any conflicts or power between participants, and your overall impression of the effectiveness of the group in achieving its stated purpose or goal, or any changes you would like to make if you were in this group, okay, in charge of the group. Okay, so I've been with my women's group for a little over 2 years. So that would be my experience. And I would start talking about that. I'd go into the details of the type of group. It's all women, that's the sex, and so on and so on and so on, answering the questions. Okay. So right now you should be jotting down, what's my next meeting? Who am I going to go see? And that's the group. Maybe you saw one last week. Maybe your meeting was last week. Use it. Okay. I don't need to know that it happened last week before the class started. That's not irrelevant to me. Okay. Just go ahead and use it and do your group. Right. And I hope that shouldn't leave anybody stumped, because again, it doesn't have to be an educational group. All right. Assignment number 4. Now, this is your group assignment, and it is due week 7. And I promise you that I will give you time to work in our live sessions to collaborate. Okay. So again, attendance sometimes is important. If you are not here, you can't be here. It's summer. I get it. However, during our session, I might ask that you contact the people via email or something like that so that they can send you a question via email as they're sitting there and discussing and saying, okay, we're discussing this. This is your part. Okay. So that there's some dialogue between you, even though you can't be present in our virtual live session. Okay. And I'm going to give you time with that as early as next week. So part of the time will be the delivery of that lesson. The other half, I'm going to put you in your actual groups. And I'm going to email you your groups tonight because it's just going to be random. So you already know who you're working with. So when you come on week 3, you already are communicating with each other, exchanging your emails, making sure you have some way to text each other so you can do this. During this group assignment, you're going to design 8 sessions of a group, all right? So you're going to have 8 group sessions. So how would you divide that? If you guys are in groups, I haven't seen the total number of students, which is usually why I wait until class has begun before I form the group so that in case people drop. So in this, you might be in groups of 2 or you might be in groups of 3. Just depends. If you're in groups of 2, you design 4 lessons. They design the other 4, you bring them together. Okay. And then you are going to put the links of those lessons. Again, let me say about these lessons. You don't need to create everything on your own. This is not about originality. Okay. This is school counseling. We all use books and things that help us to get the lessons to other people. Okay. So when you are including a link in there that says, okay, we use this lesson plan. So, this is all of our materials or what. However, if you do create something, you've got to make sure, and it's completely on your own. If I go in and I put a PowerPoint together, then that has to be linked and I have to have access to it so that when I'm grading your group assignment, when I click on the link, I see your PowerPoint and I can see, I need everything in the lesson plan so that I can do the lesson if I had to do it. Okay. So you're going to create 8 lessons and they need to be in order. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. Like, how do we put the lessons together to build on something so that we're teaching a specific concept to a group of kids. And that group may be a whole class, or that group may be 5 or 10 kids. Okay. The age level is decided upon the group, whether it's elementary, middle, high. Your lesson plan template is right there on your assignment page. So on that template, you're going to fill in, and again, any materials should be linked in there. And then it also has a written portion that goes along with the 8 lesson plans. And the written portion of the assignment is the name and type of group, the goal and rationale of the group, a literature review regarding the population served, meaning why did you choose this group? Was it a tier 1, a tier 2, or a tier 3 group? Okay. And remember, you can have a tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3 group for any topic area. Okay. It could be for academics. It could be for attendance. It could be for grief. It could be there's a lot of different things that it could be for. And depending on which one you're doing, determines what you're trying to teach. So you're trying to teach a skill over time. And your 8 lessons demonstrates how you are going to teach that skill. So if it's improving attendance, so what would we do if we're talking to someone about improving attendance? Obviously, they're not coming to school, even if they're coming late, right? So time management, right? That would be a lesson automatically off the top of your head, right? That's just time management. And then maybe we would do the next lesson would be conflict, overcoming obstacles. Because there's always going to be an obstacle. Something's always going to happen. So how do we overcome them and still meet our goals? Goal setting, that's another one. That would be in there. And so the skill that we're talking about is attendance is important, coming to school is important. We might do something on grades. We might talk about what happens when you're not in school, the things that you're missing. And as you do that over time, you're teaching them the skill of attendance, being how important school is. Okay. Any questions about that? Christina?
So I was reading in the assignment paper where a part of that assignment is presenting like a 10 to 15 portion to the class. Would an example be like, so we have those 8 different group meetings for that lesson. Would we just like maybe pick one of those lessons and present that to the class? Or would we need to like present a condensed version of all 8 of those?
We won't have time for that.
Oh, okay.
To be honest with you, I know that was great when our class sizes weren't that big, but it's never worked out. So what I do during week 7, because that's the time where we last meet or together, week 7 is when I just have you kind of go over your topic and everybody just says a sentence or two about what they worked on together. And that's it. I mean, just a little bit about your group and your choice, and that's it. Nothing formal. I don't do anything formal. And we won't even have time for 10 to 15 minutes.
Got
it. It takes too long. And most of our oral reports go all the way to like 8:30. I don't think they realize how long they go. Even when you're saying 5 minutes, give a person 5 minutes, it's really hard. So that's what's going to happen for us. Okay. And then the written portion goes along with your paper. And I'll show you a little bit more about that in our future class sessions. So just so you know, but you're going to use the lesson plan template and you're going to fill in exactly the questions. The only part that you won't fill in on the lesson plan template is the bottom portion of the template that says the results. Like after you delivered the lesson, these are the things that you would change or do, and that's on there. And you're not going to have any results because you're not presenting this to anybody. Okay, so you're not presenting it to get that type of feedback. All right. Any questions or concerns about the assignment? So you'll work together on completing the written portion of the assignment. So this is where you would start a Google Doc and, for both things, for the lessons, to put the links in, and everybody should be sharing that with one another so that everybody, and then you divide up. If there's going to be 3 people in the group, that means maybe 2 people do the lesson plan and then somebody does the paper. Maybe that's how you decide to split it up. It's your choice though, as a group, how you decide to split up the work. Again, 8 lessons on the same topic, covering around the same topic. So if it's attendance, and then these are the lessons that go with it. If it's grief, how to get over it, how to work through it, trauma. There's all types of different themes that you can find. Friendship, bullying, prevention. There's all types of different topics. All right. Any questions or concerns about the assignments for this class? Our final assignment is due week 8. It is our signature assignment. And just a couple of words about the signature assignment. Remember, if you have an A all the way up until the 8th week and you don't turn in that signature assignment, cannot get a grade for the course. This is very important that you finish strong and finish this last assignment. This last assignment is an article review where you find a article on any aspect of counseling. You just start Googling whatever you're interested on counseling, and that you're going to write a 2-page summary of the article. That should be very straightforward. And it has all of the things, you have your citations, and then it has all the different, the topic, the summary of the research that's being presented, your personal reflection about the implications of school counseling in the article, consider practical applications, the value, leadership, and the challenges for a school counselor. So please include all of that in your 2-page summary. All right. It seems like a lot, but it's really not. Okay. I talked a lot, but honestly, I think you have a 2-page paper week 2, a 2-page paper week 3, a 2-page paper on week 4, and a 2-page paper on week 8. And then I think week 7 was your where you're working as a group, which is the biggest part of the assignment. Okay, so remember, you're just hitting 2-page papers, most of them summaries. So this, it does seem like it, but it's really not that much. Okay. As far as turning into me, maybe a little bit more preparation, but less to turn into me as for the grade. Okay, so give it your best and do your best. Any questions about our assignments or housekeeping, Erica?
We normally have 7 discussion boards, and I noticed that we only have 6 for this class. Is that correct?
Yeah. We have, how it works here is we have subject matter experts that do the syllabus. So I am not in control of the syllabus. The syllabus is the same for all every time a cohort takes the course. So I make no changes to it. The SME does all of the changes. Just so
Yeah.
you know that I'm not in control of this
No,
syllabus.
absolutely. I understand. I just wanted to make sure that I was,
No, I just kind of was sharing that just with everyone, not necessarily applying it to your, but just the little tidbit to your question. And just so I know summer is hard for everyone, but I don't have any control over it. Unfortunately.
I'm glad you mentioned the final assignment that you said if we don't turn it, because this is the first time I'm hearing this, that if you don't
For
turn
signature assignments?
Yes.
No, it's in the university policies, and people forget. And that's the thing that is difficult, because especially if you have an A and then you forget to do that final assignment. And sometimes it's on week 7 and sometimes it's on week 8.
Yeah.
And that is in there and a lot of people don't pay attention to it because life happens, and things happening, they come up at the last minute. And so this is just a final reminder to you, because we can extend it a little bit. We have a little room for that, but you have to turn it in. And that's super important. Okay. Any other questions or concerns about the assignments? None? You sure? Okay, perfect. So I'm going to talk a little bit about chapter 1 and 2 in the book. All right, so there are some ethical concerns and legal concerns when you're talking about a group and putting a small group together. They also, when you choose a small group, you usually use it because in your tier 1, you're giving that to everybody. So whatever the whole school might need. Okay, so if you see that there's something going on in the school and there's maybe bullying or there's maybe a high incident of anger and frustration and lots of hitting on the campus, this is where you hit your class lessons. And those are considered our whole group lessons. And so you're teaching everyone at that time. So a counselor will be responsible for going into different classrooms and teaching this whole group lesson on specific things. SEL is the hot topic right now. So SEL, social emotional learning, and we're going in there talking to students about being able to regulate their emotions. And as we do that, this is something that we want to give to everyone, right? So these are lessons that we'll compile. I'll put them in order. I'll pull from other resources and say, okay, how do we regulate our emotions? So in a K environment, a kindergarten classroom, obviously I'm teaching the emotions. Show me a sad face, show me a happy face. And that's pretty much, we do a little bit of role playing. And with a kindergarten class, 15 minutes and you're out, okay, for any lesson, for any small group, because anything longer than that, you will not hold their attention. If you're trying to do a yoga lesson for calming down or meditation, after 15 minutes, they're just rolling. Then they start playing in their own games. And so you really got to make sure you get in, you teach a concept. So today I just might want to teach you about how what does happy look like? What does sad look like? And then that's it. I'm going to reiterate that 6 times and then I'm out. So that's my group lesson. So then when I come back, I'm going to say, okay, so we talked about being happy and we talked about sad. Let's talk about some other emotions. And then I might talk about some other emotions. Then I might read a story. And again, my story will be about 5 minutes, lots of autobooks, and it might demonstrate the 2 new emotions that I'm doing. And then after that, I teach what I taught before. I kind of start with that. And then I go into the new stuff. And then I'll say, we're going to draw a picture. Draw a picture of something that makes you happy. Now draw a picture of something that makes you sad. And then I leave them and I'm done with my lesson for the day. Okay. So with our tier 1, those are those are the lessons that we give to the whole, group. And in high school, it's a little bit different because you have 9, 10, 11, and 12. So what each grade level needs is different, right? Because an incoming freshman probably needs more about the structure of the high school, whereas an outgoing senior probably needs more college and career lessons. Okay, so that's kind of how you start to choose what you're doing. When you get to the tier 2 level, the tier 2 level student means that you've taught this skill and that student is still struggling with it. So that skill, if you taught friendship, if you taught bullying, if you taught whatever to the whole group, and this is being worked on daily in the classroom or social emotional, but you have a student who has major concerns. Now you want to pull that person out and work more with them. And most often, the reason why we do small group is because we learn more from our peers. So when someone's talking at us in an individual counseling session, many of us don't learn that much. But in a group, you start hearing and they see their own peers and they relate to them a little bit better. So then you're designing lessons for that small group on skills. So they need something that kind of keeps going. Not that you're starting over, but you're just saying, okay, we talked about this when I was in your classroom, but I see that you're still having trouble with this. So how can I reinforce that, the positive behavior that I want to see? Because you tend to be leaning towards the negative, which is giving you more consequences, right? And then we have our tier 3 group, which means we're starting to look at, okay, this student really isn't getting it, and they're showing other signs. This is where we might have a diagnosis of some sort, and we need to continue to build on those skills. And we may use that in like a smaller group, 5 people, 3 people, because it shouldn't be that many students that need that much, that additional reinforcement. But we also might do individual counseling there too. Okay, so those are the things that we're thinking about, our ethical and legal concerns. We want to make sure that everyone gets everything. And so our tier 1, 2, and 3 is based on their behaviors, not the students. And it is also very fluid. So students can float between tier 1, 2, and 3 multiple times throughout the school year. Okay. One of the most important things about starting a group is having informed consent. Obviously, this is more important at the lower levels in K through 5 because they are the minors. The age group at which students don't no longer need to get consent for therapy is 12. Okay, so at 12, they don't need their parents' consent. So now, but you still, in a school setting, we still provide an informed consent, right, to all of the parents. So we send it home and we get their permission. The small group requires that the counselor perform what type of counseling lesson you're going to be providing, who are the group members and what's the purpose, the goals and techniques that you'll be using, the rules and procedures for the group, and any sensitive information that might happen in front of other students. How will you go about maintaining confidentiality? So that's the purpose of the informed consent. Confidentiality, which is our next statement. It's a problem in small groups because many times the counselor doesn't have control. Oftentimes things do leak out, even though you ask them. So you have to keep the information that they hear in your counseling group confidential. So you have to have a measure in place in case there is a time where the confidentiality is breached, right? And what did you do? How did you handle it? And what's happening after that? Confidentiality became a bigger issue during the pandemic time because we were virtual and many counseling sessions remain virtual. It's ideal in the sense of with the number of counselors that we have that need the therapeutic setting, the virtual allows them to get rid of the traveling time, but it's never ideal if you don't live in your own space. It's hard to keep the information that you're sharing confidential. And also anything that you want them to write or see or send you goes over the email. So there's all those different issues that people have. Now, there are tools out there, and many of the organizations are using private tools to secure some of those documents that they need signed and that they have you write. But that, sometimes that is an issue for us, but not as much. This year, we partnered with Hazel Health, and Hazel Health is a virtual organization that provides therapy to students, and they provided us with an iPad, headphones, and we only needed to provide the student a confidential area. The confidential area is hard though, because it has to be an area that you can get to, because my students are K-5, so nobody's over 12, in case they reveal that they want to cause harm to themselves or do something to themselves. So we're constantly, it has to be private, but it can't be too private. In chapter 2, it talks about utilizing our school counseling competencies to design and deliver our group work. So our counseling competencies allows us to, and our standards helps us to understand what we should be doing K through 12 working with the student. I mean, what are the goals and what are the areas in which we're supposed to be designing and delivering group information? I'll talk to you, I'll show you the counseling theories on ASCA in a moment. But these competencies let us know our solid foundation, our theory and training, and you're going to use the skills that from your theories class, Adlerian theory, solution focused therapy, reality therapy. Those are the skills and the techniques that you will use within your lesson planning as you're designing the lessons for the age group that you're dealing with. Action plans are often included in group counseling as interventions and targets and increase academic and personal achievement for all students, such as the career development, college access, post-secondary preparedness, and social emotional learnings. And these groups are also viewed as an important way to provide crisis response. And so through trauma. And there's a lot of trauma curriculums out there that help the school counselors to figure out who has been through trauma and then how to design the small groups to address the trauma and how to deal with it. So I was just talking to you about a typical lesson plan, like what it should look like. And for elementary, groups lasting about 30 minutes should include an icebreaker, a review of the previous session, if it's not the first one, a report on progress, your skill that you're teaching, and then a summary where the students state what they learned. So that's your post. So this is just a 30-minute session. I can tell you in 4th and 5th, I usually do an hour because I have all the components, because I like to use all the learning modalities because it catches everybody. In 4th and 5th grade, there's about 37 kids in 37 to 40 kids in a classroom. So you're gonna have a lot of different personalities. I let kids stand up during my lessons. I have brain breaks in the middle of them. I make them get up and walk around the room in the middle of my lesson to get materials. I tell them take a walk around the room to get your materials, just things that keep them engaged, especially when I have a whole group lesson. I mostly do whole group lessons because I always get pulled away when I do anything smaller than that because it's just me. So on the campus. So it's really, really hard to do anything less than that. So I gave you the difference between kinder, which I said 15 minutes, you're in and out in 15 minutes. And then pretty much the same for 1st grade as well. 2nd grade is when they start to be able to listen to you a little bit longer. So my lesson might go 20, 25 minutes. 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I can do third, I do about 30 minutes. 4th and 5th graders, because there's so many of them, you just have to have multiple activities. Like, got to put them in a group. You got to have them role play. You got to have them, just so they stay engaged and then they remember what you're trying to teach them. So these are the stages of a group. And all of this is in your book. This is just me kind of giving you the highlights of chapters 1 and 2. The initial stage is 1 to 2 sessions, and the initial stage is where we set the group rules, define the objectives, ask the participants what they want to learn and how they expect the group to be conducted, let the group members know about what the group requires and sharing personal thoughts and feelings, but only with those who choose to share. So I have a way with my groups where the first 2 sessions, I give them an option to share. And then after that, everyone has to participate. And that's how you kind of give it. Now, if they want to participate, again, I give them options where they can do it orally. Not everybody's great orally. So I'll say, write your answer. And then I'll say, pass it to me. And then I might give permission to read it. Those are just all of, different ways. And I say all these things because these are the way that you'll kind of include some of these strategies as you're designing the lessons that you'll report out for. Then you have the working stage, which is the 2 to 4 sessions. This is the second phase of the group where your working progression is working in the thing. So you should be able to see that they're using the skills. The biggest challenge in counseling, honestly, is that they listen to us, they can recall the information. It's the practice. That's the worst part. Because when they're out and they're in the whatever is the reason why you're giving it to them, they tend to revert back to their old ways. I mean, what human being doesn't? So that's the part that we're trying to influence and change. We're trying to change that once you get into that, that we've broken that habit and you've built a new habit. Okay. And then, hold on. And then, the closure is 1 to 2 sessions, and during the final stage of the group, ensures that the group members are allowed to fully express their feelings and talk about any unfinished business that they may have, and issues dealing with the group ending should also be addressed. Also, you sometimes have that issue where they get so comfortable in coming there, that becomes their safe haven and the place where they can then share their ideas, feel heard, that they go through some type of misbehavior to get put back in a group because they miss it so much. So we don't want that, because that's obviously the opposite of what we're trying to think. So that's another reason why I go into class, so I can see them doing what I taught them. And I think sometimes when I pull them out and separate them, I don't get that same response, because then it's like exclusive almost. It's weird. And then when you're in the class and you're there, the whole group, they feel, okay, she's teaching it all to us, and they engage a little bit more. So when you have that difficult student, which you're going to have from time to time, you might have to meet with them separately. You might have to dismiss them. Don't be afraid to dismiss a person from a group, because maybe what you discovered is not so much that you have to dismiss them, but really maybe the group isn't the ideal situation for the individual, and maybe they would flourish more so in a one-on-one setting. So maybe that's where you can teach them their skills more so. So you say, I'm going to have to dismiss you from this group because it just seems like you're distracted more or something like that. And then I'm going to meet with you by myself. And then maybe when you meet with them, they're more talkative. As we know, different kids talk more and share their feelings, like if you're playing a game with them or if you're doing that. And you're not always able to focus on that one child who needs that additional support in a group, even if it's a small group. So making sure that you're comfortable dismissing them, letting the parent know that they will no longer participate in the group, it wasn't the right setting, but that you would continue to see the student in an individualized way. You should collect data by building a questionnaire, distribute it before the first session and then at the end, and see if, and usually when you do a collection or pre and post test, it's the same exact test. So maybe it's, what do you want to know about friendship or dating woes or whatever your topic is. And then at the end, you want to see if their answers changed. And then that shows the effectiveness of your group. Maybe they've learned things from you, but maybe they share with you it's hard to apply and make the changes. So that's good information. Some of the things I just talked about are part of your group project. You will have to have a pre and post. You will have to have, you won't collect data, but your questionnaire, you'll do that part of it, your informed consent, and plus the lesson plan. So those are things that will go into your group project. Let me see. Okay. It's 7:18. So I wanted to see how things, if there's any other questions or concerns about the assignments or any of the upcoming assignments. Again, please keep me informed if you're traveling. A quick email or a quick text message will be suffice, and then just so I can guide you from there and I know how to email you. Please do check your emails because that's the fastest way that I can kind of send things out to you and update you about everything. Right? What I'm going to work on now, I'm going to ask you guys to kind of, jot down some ideas for your assignments and for the remainder part of the class. And then I'm going to work on placing you guys in your groups and getting that out to you this evening so that you know what group you will be in. And we can start as early as our next live session and giving time for you to meet your group members, exchange telephone numbers, and start talking about your themes and your topics and what you want to do. I have two questions, Cheryl, and then Joe.
Yeah, just curious, just in working in a group in these small group settings, what have you seen as far as the confidentiality breach? Like, and how is that handled in a school setting? I've been in groups where confidentiality, when it was broken, the member was removed. There were different consequences, but I don't know how it's handled at school.
The same. Yeah,
Okay.
we will, depending on the nature of the breach, sometimes that will lead to a disciplinary action. It depends on how it falls on the discipline. But then you would give them the consequence that you need to give them. You would dismiss them from the group because you would talk about trust and that the other group members don't feel safe anymore. And unfortunately, that's what happens. And then, yeah, and then you would inform the parent. So, but not all of them will take an action. Like if they just told some gossipy information and it didn't really lead to any harmful actions in the school won't give an additional consequence. Joe?
I got one question. So for assignment 3, assignment 3, where we turn our slides in and go over it for the class. You said we could use the assignment we already did, and we just got to just explain it to them in our own words.
Yes, you're actually going to deliver a lesson. And I have a YouTube where the school counselor is delivering a lesson and she's showing you how she would do this lesson for a group of kids, because that's about the only way that you can do it, because the students that you're going to be sharing this lesson with are your students, they're your peers. They're not your actual class kids that you're working with. So there's a couple of portions where you would say, okay, at this point, then I would say, draw this picture. And so you're going to just kind of move through the process. And then you say, after everyone has drawn the picture, then I ask them to share. And then you might say, so if I got a sample picture and it needed to do this, then I would say, okay, oh, great job. And then you're showing how you're praising the student for the work that they've done, and you're moving on. So that's how I'm expecting you to deliver the lesson. You won't be able to do all the components of the lesson. For example, let's just say you chose college and career, and you told them that they had to research a college, right? In one of the lessons, you might show them what website to go to, then they start doing it, and then you fill out a template. That's kind of all that you can show us for that lesson. Like the website, the importance of the website, how you would teach them how to use the website. Then they would fill out their template paper, and then you'd have a discussion about what they discovered. And then you would tell them, and then the session would be over. And then you would tell them, okay, that's it. And then I'll see you next week.
All right,
And that would be my.
So basically, it ain't really no slides. It's like a lesson plan that we've written already.
It depends on if you have slides or not. I mean, as you can see, let me see. Hold on one second. I'll show you a quick template of I'll show you something that I've done. And then I'll show you what I mean as far as like slides are concerned.
And then the reflection is based on how they perceive my lesson.
Yeah.
All right.
No, it's not how it's answering those questions. Not only how did you prepare your lesson, but then also what did you observe of your other of the other students here in the class? You know, was there a lesson like, oh God, I didn't have as many visuals. I need more visuals, I see. Or maybe I need more practice. I didn't flow. My words weren't flowing. It was hard for people to understand what I was trying to teach that day. Those are critiques of your own self, you know, as you're delivering the lesson. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll figure it out. If not, I'll just email you.
That's fine. All my lessons are on a different let's see if I can get to one. All my lessons are somewhere else. I'm trying to figure out how to get to it real fast. It's in the class time. Let's see. All right, let's see. Okay, I know I can do really quickly. All right. Sorry, I did not have this ready for you. Right. Let me go to all right. How many people have used second step? Anybody? No one? All right, here we go. This is what I mean about borrowing something else. Okay, let's share my screen for you. All right, second step is a curriculum that is now completely digital, right? And it is SEL. So it has its own topics and it has its own lessons that we paid, you know, it's cost a lot to purchase second step. So that's how many people used it this year. You don't want to see that. I'm gonna get to a lesson. It's running kind of slow today. Come on, second step. I'm gonna close out some programs here so we can go faster. Here we go. Doesn't want to do it today.
Professor, I have a question.
Go ahead.
So I've never heard of second step, but is this something that I know you mentioned something about it being pricey? Is this something that we can use? Is this like a free trial or?
No, this one actually, it actually came in a, when I first purchased it, it came in kits.
Okay.
And when it came in kits, the lesson was already on a piece of paper for you, like this, right? So all you did was read it. And then they upgraded in the pandemic kit. And when they upgraded in the pandemic kit, it was so perfect for the pandemic because you got to you were online and you were stuck, and here you were, like trying to figure out how to do these lessons when you didn't have any of the materials in front of you because you didn't have a class in front of you. And this is all digital. So what they did was they took their paper and pencil and then made a digital format of it. And then the program came up, and it looks like their system is down, but this was the fastest one that I could get to.
Yeah.
So I could actually show it to you online. And it might be because I'm this. No,
Now that I think of it, I think they use this because when you said it sounded familiar.
Second step is, yeah.
But I think the preschoolers use it when I sub. They're like, oh, and the syllabus is like second step. I was like, I don't know what second step is. But
Yeah,
then,
so it is a SEL curriculum that goes over different concepts in the program, and it's already done for you. So since it's already done for you, then you're just reading the material.
Yeah.
And as you're reading the material, it just makes it so much easier. And I think it might be because Corey, let me see something. Let me stop sharing for a quick sec. Stop